morning. Happy New Year. We'll go ahead and start this regular session. Yuma County Board of Supervisors also sitting as Special Tax District, January 4th, 2023, 9 a.m. Board members will attend either in person, by telephone, or remotely via electronic conferences. Since we're all here, we'll go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask Judge House if he can lead us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I will ask all the judges to be silent, please. I'm just kidding. Someone said I had to say that, so.
It would have been a missed opportunity, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, really.
We'll go ahead and open the swearing-in ceremony, and I'll invite Honorable Judge House to conduct the swearing-in ceremony.
Thank you, Chairman Porches, members of the board. It's a pleasure to be here today for this swearing-in ceremony. We'll do this in groups. So the first group is our Superior Court judges, Judge Larry Kenworthy, Judge Roger Nelson, and Judge R. Aaron Farrar. Here, present, please come forward.
Mm-hmm.
All right, please raise your hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
Roger Nelson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies,
and defend them against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Yuma County Superior Court Judge
of the office of Yuma County Superior Court
Judge,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Judge Kenworthy just came in.
Oh, Larry, come on up. We'll do you by yourself. All right. If you please raise your hand and repeat after me. I state your name,
Lawrence Kenworthy,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies,
and defend them against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Yuma County Superior Court Judge
of the office of Yuma County Superior Court Judge,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. The next group that we will swear in are our newly, or I guess, re-elected justices of the peace. Gregory Stewart, Precinct 1, Juan Manuel Guerrero, Precinct 2, Russ Jones, Precinct 3. You would please raise your hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Gregory Stewart Jones,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies,
and defend them against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Yuma County Justice of the Peace,
of the office of Yuma County Justice of the Peace
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Judge Stewart. Judge Jones.
Thank you, sir.
Next, we'll call our constables. Art Rodriguez, Precinct 1. Rafael Torres, Jr., Precinct 2. Good morning. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
Art Rodriguez.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies,
and defend them against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Yuma County Constable
of the office of Yuma County Constable
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. Okay, next we have Clerk of Court Lynn Foss. Morning, Lynn.
Morning.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
I,
state your name.
Lynn Foss,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws, that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies,
and defend them against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Yuma County Clerk of Court
of the office of Yuma County Clerk of Court,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me.
so help me God. I need to write one.
All right, and our last person to be sworn again is School Superintendent Tom Kirk. Welcome, Mr. Kirk.
How are you?
Would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I
I,
state your name.
Tom Hurt,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and defend them against all enemies,
and defend them against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office of Yuma County School
of
Superintendent.
the office of Yuma County School Superintendent,
I wanted to get that right. According to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure for me to swear people in and do this sometimes. I just want to say that it's important to us, those of us who live our lives according to an oath. We are given responsibility and authority because of our position, and the oath reminds us that the only proper exercise of that authority is within the bounds of the Constitution and within the laws. And I take that very seriously, and I assure you that these newly elected officials also take that very seriously.
Thank you, Judge House, and congratulations to everyone newly elected and re-elected. So, moving on to our regular agenda. We're gonna
Maybe,
give, we're gonna,
wait,
we're-
Nobody wants to hear you.
Nobody,
Gone in a
we're not
minute.
signing your checks, okay? You get that.
You upset them when you
Yeah.
said that
We're
earlier.
not signing the checks. You guys are supposed to stay here until the end.
I have pictures, everybody, if you want that picture, so just text me.
For a fee.
Okay. Oh, no. Tony.
all right, we'll go ahead and continue with the call to the public. Anybody from the public? Call to public is held for public benefit to allow individuals to address issues within the board jurisdiction. Board members may not discuss items that are not specifically identified on the agenda. Therefore, pursuant to Arizona Revised Statute 38-431.01H, action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to criticism, or scheduling the matter for further discussion and decision at a future date. Public comments may be made in person or submitted by email at publiccomment@yumacountyaz.gov. The email forms of public comment will be accepted until 8 a.m. the morning of the meeting. All public comments will be read out loud during the Yuma County Board of Supervisors meeting that starts at 9 a.m. Do we have any emails? I do have a card from Gail.
I'll say the last name. I like to hear
Oh.
you.
You know,
That's true.
I'll
That's
stick
true.
to just the first name. Yeah, go ahead, Gail.
Oh, he kind of cheated. I thought, you finally got out of it, and now he's not going to say it, Castricone.
Put a little pressure there.
This is the second time you've dismissed my audience before I had a chance
We
to
did,
talk
we
with
tried to keep it in.
But they were, I might need a judge in my life someday. Well, we do.
Uh-huh.
We're going to be going to court, yeah. Well, good morning, everyone, and Happy New Year. My name is Gail Castricone, and I am the neighborhood advocate for the Avenue B and C Colonia Butterfly Project. I have some good news. Supervisor Pancrazzi and I were at our 2023 neighborhood meeting, and we had a wonderful turnout. We have 2 new people that are going to be coming and being on our board.
And the pastor?
And our pastor. And so that was the good news. Okay, now some of the bad news is most of the time was taken up on the band trailer park. And as you probably have heard, on Monday, there was another shooting, another attempted homicide. Supervisor Pancrazzi and I had went to Band Park to pass out our gifts on Christmas. And it was another eye-opener. We always knew how bad it was. It was so disgusting that we would look at a trailer and say, well, do you think somebody lives there? Should we knock on the door? And we'd say, well, you wouldn't think anybody was living there. And so we knock anyway, and sure enough, there would be a resident there. We'd walk through trash, stray dogs, feces, and there was this young lady that had a little boy, and they were just adorable. She was so kind, but the porch that she was on had no rails, and as she was coming to us to get the gift, she had unattended her little boy, and Supervisor Pancrazzi had to say, your little boy, because there's no rail, and he could have fallen off. All those are very unsteady. We know that we're moving on in that park, but not soon enough. We don't, I guess there's no way to, the few people that are left there, that we can get them out. All of the departments, the police department, the sheriff's department, all of the county staff, we've not been able to do anything to get them out. WACOG, we've been over that. They paid to have, they supported the rent for that area without even seeing who lived there and how they lived. And so we're hoping that this we're going to have closure. We know that it's been through the processes, but our concern as neighbors is we are losing good neighbors. The Canadians have already sold out. There's a young couple that bought they're a rundown place 3 years ago. They put everything into it. They almost lost it in the fire because that property wasn't cleared off behind them. And they've stuck it out and fixed everything up so nice. And I talked to her, and she said, my husband wants us to move because they're on Fifth Street. You know, it's just too close to the crime. And this, over the years, I believe that you are a new board. I believe in new beginnings. I'm an optimist and not a pessimist. But the crisis we have was because of the neglect year after year after year. Because I think we just, if it's not place we live, if it's not, we come just apathetic towards it because it's not our problem. We don't see it all the time, and sometimes we just get used to it. You know, people just drive by and are used to it. People that drive by that are company that come in, we had my daughter's boyfriend from the military come to our place for the first time, and I mean, it's culture shock. It really is. And we have new housing, we have things coming in, but we are way, way behind in the infrastructure of our roads and the infrastructure and the safety with the sheriff's department. And they've been out there a lot. YPD's out there a lot now. That's something that it shows how bad it is when we have to have the city come in to help us. And we still have the fires, just, 5 days ago or so? Yeah, there was a fire. The family in Bam Park lost their home all the way to the ground, and thank the good Lord they were safe, but it could have been so much more worse. So anyway, I thank you all for your service, and I thank you for all the staff that helps us with DDS, and I know they get sick of hearing us, but they're trying to do the best they can. But if they don't have the tools, it's not going to get done. So we're hoping your staff stays high enough to where they can address in a good amount of time each of our violations. So thank you, and God bless America.
Thank you, Gail. Anybody else from the public? I'll go ahead and leave the call to the public open to the end of the meeting, like former chair always did. I want to say in call to the public that I want to thank the Board of Supervisors for giving me this opportunity to be chair for this year, upcoming year. If I do any mistakes, I learned them from former Supervisor Reyes. So, but
Look, you started off that way. I'm going to say a couple of things that you made. But you started in the past, Charlie. You got no chance now. It's 6 years of training. So, no, I do want to take a minute to thank the board for their confidence in me running the board for such a long time. It was a pleasure, an honor and a pleasure to do that. And I want to thank especially the former administrator and the current administrator for making that job really easy. The county is a pretty well-oiled machinery. It runs pretty well. I think that, if I learned anything through this process is that if you let people do their job, most of the time they do it really well. And I appreciate the fact that we had our crises, we had our problems throughout, but what I found out is that we've got very capable, very good administrators, very good individuals serving at all of the positions, excluding the sheriff. Well, no, the sheriff too. It was a pleasure doing that, and it was certainly a learning experience for me that I think overall we pulled the county through some pretty tough times, and I want to thank the board for their support during those times and for their. It was an honor to represent you as a chairman, and I think you do a great job.
Thank you.
So stop blaming the past.
I'll try. No, just kidding. Also, I want to say that some good news for the county is that we got some more broadband funds, and I'll let Supervisor Lyons kind of address this and call to the public just as information
Go ahead.
and announcement.
No, you
Mr.
make
Chairman?
that.
So I've had the opportunity prior to the completion of Governor Ducey's term to sit down and look at, with the Arizona Commerce Authority, some of the challenges that we have here in Yuma County, specifically regarding broadband and rural broadband. And we were able to identify additional ARPA funds that could be used specifically The request was for 10 million, but we identified 6 million that could be extended to the county to install a rural broadband mesh network, which will be utilized by the University of Arizona Agriculture Extension Program, as well as our agricultural producers here in the county. This is important because we have commitments from ag research companies throughout the world, up to 100, that have expressed interest in coming to Yuma County if this type of network were available, being delivered directly to the field. So I appreciate the partnership that we had with Governor Ducey and the Arizona Commerce Authority, and the confidence that they have in us to partner with the U of A Agricultural Extension to embark upon a new venture and complete our broadband here in Yuma County.
Mr. Chairman, a couple of things. One of the things is that, maybe I didn't express it long enough, but we're really lucky to have you on the board. I mean, your relationship with the governor, the past governor, really helped us out. And I wanted to mention that it's 6 additional million. We have put 30 million.
And this will be 36.
20 million from our ARPA funds, 10 million from the funds that the state provided for us, and an additional $6 million. We are investing about over $36 million ourselves in trying to make sure that we stay up in the forefront of this effort. And I don't think people really, unless they study the matter, would understand just how big of an investment that is, and just how significant for the agricultural field the contribution that the governor, the past administration, and yourself have made to make sure that the county remains at the forefront of the agricultural industry, which is what we are. And notwithstanding the water issues that we're going to deal with, which you're also a member of the WAFA board. So it's really, I think I said it earlier. I feel lucky that we've had this great team put together, but I would be remiss if I didn't recognize that a lot of the stuff that got done, a lot of the money that came from the state to us came through you. So I wanted to recognize that effort.
Thank you,
I wanted to, make sure that everybody out there listening understands just how valuable every member of this team is, and they bring a different strength to the board, and it certainly has made it, for me particularly, easy to lead you.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Supervisor Lyons.
This will be a singular system, unlike any other system in the entire world, where we have everything tied together. And it's because of that system that we have commitments from so many different agricultural companies all over the world that would like to focus on ag development and research here in Yuma County, specifically around our water. We're using less water than we did 40 years ago. And this will then provide us the additional tools for water conservation, as well as mechanized harvesting and some of the other challenges that we face here in Yuma County. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Moving on to presentations, proclamations, and appointments. Any appointments? I would like to appoint to the Planning and Zoning Commission, or reappoint Mr. Tim Bowers.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question? Do we have any reappointments that we don't know anything about, like reappointments to different boards? I know I've seen some in the packet. There's a couple in there. But do we have anything? Do you know? Well, not at this time. Okay. Because normally what happens is before their term ends, we get
an email, or yeah.
That's weird.
I know I'll have the Parks and Recs for next meeting. So thank you. Item number 1 on presentations, Development Services, Gina Bunn, ADEQ Community Liaison, presenting Yuma County with
Wait a minute. It doesn't look like a G to me. It looks like Montoya.
Just saw
with the
you.
Voluntary Environmental Stewardship Program Award for his coordinating effort to perform solid waste cleanup near the Colorado River.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, George Amaya, Development Services. The Arizona Department of Environmental Quality has recognized Yuma County under the Voluntary Environmental Stewardship Program for the solid waste cleanup event that occurred last year on August 28, 2022 near the Colorado River. The event included participation from county departments such as Development Services, Public Works, the Sheriff's Office, Yuma Catholic High School, federal agencies, and public and private organizations. The cleanup resulted in tons of solid waste collected and disposed of accordingly. And this morning, Mr. Chairman, I would like to welcome Gina Bunn, local ADQ liaison, to present the certificate of recognition. Thank you.
She looks more like a Gina.
I do look like a Gina now, huh? All right. Good morning, everyone. I am Gina Bunn from Arizona Department of Environmental Quality, short for ADEQ, and I do have a certificate of recognition. So on behalf of ADEQ, I'm pleased to be here today to present this certificate of recognition to the Yuma County and welcome you into the Voluntary Environmental Stewardship Program, which we call VESP. So VESP was adopted by the state legislature, signed into law in 2012 to provide recognition and incentives for individuals and organizations demonstrating environmental stewardship. We are recognizing you for going above and beyond to protect the environment and helping make Arizona a great state to live and work. So we have this presentation. George just mentioned a little bit of what the certificate says. It says, Yuma County Sheriff's Office initiated a cleanup near the Colorado River in collaboration with Development Services, who helped in organizing this event, and Public Works, who provided heavy equipment to properly dispose of the waste. Sources and funding were provided by local, state, federal agencies, public, and private sector. The voluntary effort resulted in the collection of 11 tons of illegal waste, 22 tires, and 4 appliances. Along with Yuma County, there was the Yuma Valley Rod and Gun Club that provided personnel and funding. U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. There was the Arizona Game and Fish, and the Yuma Catholic High School provided 37 students and 5 coaches. So that was the manpower of this whole thing, and I just wanted to recognize you all for your good efforts in cleaning up this. It was the solid waste cleanup near the Colorado River, which is a very known dump spot. So.
Well, thank you. You know, just the departments that help, all the volunteers that help. This is how Yuma County is. You know, when we get together, we everybody pitches in, and this is for them. Honestly, when departments work together, and we can accomplish a lot of things. I've seen it with Public Works, with the sheriff, DDS, and many other departments throughout. So that's something that I would like to continue seeing. And then it's bigger. If it's bigger efforts of doing things or accomplishing more things, that'd be great. So,
if you wouldn't mind, could I invite Development Services, Public Works, and
the sheriff? Well,
the sheriff?
let me ask the sheriff. Do you want to be out here? No, yeah,
Are we gonna have to blow your
You know
face?
what? I tell you what, Mr. Chairman, the participation of the sheriff makes sure that nobody left. You know,
yeah, coming up
his
and
presence
we'll
was
get
critical.
the.
We can stand up
We can-
here behind.
Yeah, we'll stand up here behind
We'll
and
take credit.
take.
Okay,
So I just wanted to say thank you so much. I
all
provided
right.
a lot of.
Instigator right there.
So after this cleanup,
There you go.
Okay, guys.
That's what I mean when I say nobody moved. The sheriff department's here.
Mhm.
You guys slide.
Oh,
Get on there.
Okay.
I don't want to block your photo.
there was a lot of collaboration in this effort, and I just wanted to thank everyone for participating. There were food afterwards, after the cleaning. The high school and coaches got to float down the river with their shoes bought by the
Oh,
sheriff.
cool.
They were chased by the sheriff?
They were chased.
Oh.
They were bought.
That's
by
what
the
they were
sheriff.
picking up the
Just
food.
clarify.
Food was provided
You need to
by
scoot
Yuma
over
Valley
so
Rod and Gun
your
Club
face is in there.
and
Was
the
it?
Southwest Wildlife
Oh,
Foundation.
It was eaten mostly by Montoya.
A lot of efforts. A lot of people donated for this event, and just really appreciate showing the this is a community that just goes above and beyond. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
We'll take that
Just to add, I'd
Well,
like
that
to
was-
thank
yeah.
Sergeant Hickson. Like I said, he's one that kind of got the ball rolling on this.
Sonny?
award. At least
Chair, members of the board, if I might just highlight Sergeant Hickson, that our main goal as elected officials is to not only provide public service to our community, but also enhance their quality of life. And Sergeant Hickson has been astronomical in identifying areas throughout Yuma County and then obtaining the cooperation and assistance from a number of different groups. And he's done over 12 of these cleanups just in Yuma County, out in the foothills and then elsewhere, as well as working with the juvenile as far as graffiti abatement in Yuma County, which is also a problem as well. So I would like to highlight Sergeant Hickson for everything that he's done and doing.
Well, once again, thank you for all your work, your cooperation with everybody here. So, perfect example to all other counties in the state of Arizona. Thank you.
Sergeant Hickson will be with you for the rest of the day. So there you go.
as long as it's not behind me in the car, it's fine.
Bonus.
Yeah.
Moving on to item number 2, presentation of county line, Yuma 77.
Welcome to your County Line 2023. 2022 was a great year for Yuma County, and we'd like to share some of the important moments, personnel changes, and technological advancements we highlighted this past year. As we look forward to another productive year, let's first take a look back. The beginning of the year required Arizona, like the rest of the U.S., to redraw its congressional and legislative districts. This occurs every 10 years to reflect population changes in the state and country. The Redistricting Advisory Commission was formed and met regularly to rearrange the district's lines. When an agreed-upon final recommendation was set, it was then reviewed and adopted by the Board of Supervisors. With primary and general elections in 2022, our voter and election services began preparing early in the year, starting with voter outreach. Both elections required poll worker recruitment and training, as well as logic and accuracy tests for equipment. Early ballots and early voting were options, and voting early in person was available at the recorder's office. There were 8 vote center locations on Election Day. The Express Vote machine was used, a touchscreen technology that produces a paper ballot. County buildings had a facelift to their parking lots with the addition of solar-covered parking structures. In total, 603 parking stalls will be covered throughout 6 county buildings. Adult Probation, the Foothills Library, Main Library, Public Works, and Department of Development Services are all benefiting. While some buildings received upgrades, others had to be moved to temporary locations to allow for future demolition and construction at 197 Main. The assessor joined the treasurer's office at 2550 South 4th Avenue, next to McDonald's, while the recorder and election services took over the old Hopstadter's building at 102 South Main Street. The sheriff's office benefited from training expansion and new equipment, allowing more operations to be completed in-house. CARES Act funds received allowed the county to expand the Regional Law Enforcement Training Academy at Arizona Western College. Funds are going towards a new facility. The expansion of the training academy will benefit public safety in Arizona and across the country for many years. They've joined the Arizona Rapid DNA Law Enforcement Program, allowing quicker information to use in local investigative cases. This technology has the potential to immediately impact an investigation by linking suspects to previous crimes, collecting and rapidly processing crime scene samples for investigative leads, and significantly reducing the time it takes to identify or eliminate a potential suspect. Mid-year, we said goodbye to County Administrator Susan Thorpe and welcomed a new County Administrator. The Board of Supervisors unanimously appointed Ian McGahey as County Administrator, promoted from Deputy County Administrator. Appointed as Deputy County Administrator was Joshua Scott, former Public Works Director. In September, Yuma County and Aloe Fiber gathered for a shovel groundbreaking ceremony that kicked off the Middle Mile Fiber Backbone Project. This project will provide everyone in Yuma County with access to fast, reliable, and affordable internet service. The groundbreaking ceremony for the Magrino Industrial Park Phase 4 was held in October. This project will draw industries to Yuma County and provide more opportunities to the communities in South County. The Somerton Housing Department connected to Somerton City Water. This replaced the old water system installed in the 1960s. The Housing Water Project consisted of 7,200 linear feet of 12-inch diameter PVC water line from the City of Somerton distribution system at Avenue F to the Housing's Valley Vista Apartments. The Housing's Valley Vista apartment office and 84 units are now all benefiting from better quality water as well as cost savings. Throughout the year, our Office of Emergency Management held important trainings to ensure that our first responders are safe when working with hazardous materials. Emergency Management, in partnership with U.S. Bureau of Reclamation, held a 2-day training designed to teach first responders how to respond to an oil or gas spill. Industry professionals provided classroom and hands-on training advice to participants. First responders used boom equipment during the hands-on portion to prevent an oil or gas spill into the Colorado River. Instructors from the International Fire Service Training Association came to Yuma County to teach 19 first responders from Yuma and San Luis Fire Departments. The course took place over 4 weeks with 200 hours of in-class and on-the-field training. With constant trainings, our first responders are better prepared. Finally, illegal dumping in Yuma County continued to be a growing problem. Multiple county agencies work together to find solutions. A collaboration between the Sheriff's Office and Public Works helped address the problem. Patrols were increased, disposal site information was provided, public was informed on ways to report offenders, and information about fines and penalties was shared. The Sheriff's Office went a step further, inviting several Yuma Catholic High School students to assist in the cleanup along the Colorado River. Our Department of Development Services are constantly following up on cases year-round and have seen an increase in illegal dumping around desert areas. Let's keep Yuma County clean in 2023 by helping these agencies. The Sheriff's Office can be reached at 928-783-4427 or 78-CRIME to remain anonymous. You can contact Department of Development Services at 928-217-DUMP or head to one of the 4 Public Works transfer site locations. They can be found at yumacountyaz.gov. Before we say goodbye to 2022, we'd like to congratulate the entire Yuma County staff of employees working hard every day to serve our community. It is our hope that this new year is even better than the last. Stay tuned to your county line as we continue to bring you the stories of what's going on with your county government.
There's our county line. Moving on to consent calendar. The following items listed under the consent agenda will be considered as a group and acted upon by one motion with no separate discussion unless a board member so request. In that event, the item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate discussion and action. We have 1 to 10.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve items 1 through 10 as presented.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second to present consent calendar as presented, to approve as consent calendar as presented. Any discussion?
No, there's no discussion during the motion.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to, do I need a motion to open or close and?
I move that we move into,
Convene as,
convene into the housing board.
I'll second.
there's a motion and a second to convene as the Yuma County Housing Board. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion
Can you
carries.
get that up there?
Can we have Virginia Garcia?
We're gonna get it.
Aye.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
we do want to acknowledge a living legend in our, here, Mr. Jesus Roldan, who's not happens to be the vice mayor of the city of Somerton and the housing director.
Oh, congratulations.
Welcome, Mr. Roldan. So, item number 1, and it'll be a housing consent calendar. Item number 1, authorize the chairman to sign a revised general depository agreement from HUD-51999 between JP Morgan Chase and the Yuma County Housing Department.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
There's a motion. And second by
Oh, sorry, Virginia. Yeah.
It'll be good. I'm sorry, we just so used to it. We're trying to help the chairman move things along here.
He's not used to making motions over here.
There's a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Maybe we ought to explain that a little bit. When we do the consent item, we mean that we're not gonna have a discussion. With the item, we're just going to approve it, okay?
So, thank you, Virginia, thank you.
The check's in the mail.
Yeah.
That was nice. Yeah. Can you-
We'll go ahead and adjourn the Yuma County Housing Board and reconvene the Yuma County Board of Supervisors in regular session.
Bye, guys. That was nice.
Moving on to
Oh, there, they came in.
discussion and action items. Item number 1, County Administration Public Health. Diana? Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Chairman Porches, members of the board. Diana Gomez, Director of Public Health. We're still experiencing a high level of cases, both flu and RSV, but the good news is that they're trending downward. So I want to encourage the public to continue to stay home when they're sick and take those precautions. Those precautions go a long way, so as long as we continue to practice that and look out for each other, we will be in good shape. I expect a little spike just post-holiday. This data is typically about a week behind, but we saw about a 10% decrease in cases being reported for flu over last week, and we saw a nice drop of about 27 to 30% drop in RSV cases, and those were the highly infectious respiratory cases that tend to affect kids. So our level of transmission, we're seeing a new variant come across the country. It's the XBB.1.5, and so it's accounting for about 40% of all cases, and we're seeing it on the eastern coast. It's accounting for about 75, so it's working its way to us, and so we're seeing that this is a more transmissible virus, but the good news is that we're not seeing an increase in severity of illness. So again, people know what to look for. We still have vaccines. People are welcome to call if they have any questions. Again, staying home when you're sick and following those basic precautions go a long way. And I know that kids are going back to school, and we want everybody to start off the year right and healthy. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions?
I'll be making a bunch of comments now. So, no question, no question.
No questions.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay, thank you.
Tony, any info?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Happy New Year's. The only thing I have to report is Title 42 was extended. It looks like we're looking at a February decision at that time, and then we'll move forward on that. But that's the only thing COVID related in reference to the border. Any questions?
Yeah, well, maybe not a question, more a comment for legal. Now, I issued a proclamation basically declaring an emergency. What happens when the chairman changes? I mean, that's a situation. the proclamation itself, which I don't like to do emergency proclamations for particular reasons, but it's there now. What I'd like to know from legal is what happens to it now. Does it remain there as, you know, as the new chairman takes over? Is the new chairman actually given the powers that the proclamation issues to the chairman at the time that is, you know, that is mentioned? Can you give us an update on that when you get a chance?
That's a correct assessment, Supervisor Reyes. Yes, it just it stays in place, and the new chairman gets those powers.
Do that. Give the chairman too many powers. No, really, I just wanted to know that because it can get a little confusing. I mean, look, we've had a very good habit of issuing proclamations that normally seem like they're issued by the board, but they're not. They're issued by the chairman. And they apply to the chairman, and it gives a lot of authority to the chairman under the emergency proclamations. And I was a little concerned that there may be something that we needed to do to make sure that remains, in effect when the chairman sort of takes another position or leaves. But your assessment is that it remains in place and that the chairman continues to be given those powers as long as that proclamation is in effect. As long as, and now the next question is who takes it out? Does the chairman need the new chairman can remove it?
That's correct, yes.
Thank you.
No other questions? Thank you. Have a good day. Yes, ma'am.
Now that the containers are gone, have you seen an increase in?
They have, I think they're finishing them up this week. My understanding, I mean, you go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Pancrazi, in the areas where the containers were first removed, specifically around Morelos Dam, traffic has increased already.
Okay. Do we have porta potties there?
We do, and we've already contacted our contractor. They were moved to the edge of the fence where people could get to. We're going to move them back to the
bottom
same
side?
I'm sorry?
To the bottom side?
Yeah, that we had already asked Bureau of Reclamation. We met with them last week, and our process is to move them there. We'll see how that traffic goes, and they'll keep us advised of the sanitation of them, how often they got to be cleaned. We have some out in San Luis we have to clean every day. Some are being cleaned every other day, 3 times a week.
I have another question. Is there any chance we could put up signs to ask them to stay out of the field? The borders,
But most of those fields are separated by a canal, which is a physical barrier. The only areas would be where the roadways come out of those areas, and most of the migrants aren't going in. From my visuals, observations, they're not going into the fields currently. They are staying there waiting Border Patrol to pick them up. Most of the people are coming in and waiting their arrival.
Yeah.
Supervisor Pancrazi, the challenge really is the machinery during harvest time.
Yes.
And oftentimes, the people crossing, if they don't want to wait for Border Patrol, they approach the agricultural workers, harvesting, et cetera, for assistance. So that's one of the challenges to educate them. The other challenge is that you would have to do that in 106 different languages.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just, I was thinking that maybe we could help our farmers by just putting up a sign. I know that they're putting up barriers, but those orange barriers are not, those little orange little fences that keep the animals out don't keep people out. Okay.
Supervisor Lyons pointed out, we're seeing a wide variety of over 100 countries coming in. So Yuma County's primarily having a lot of Russians and Venezuelans.
And Ukrainians too, China,
India.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Tony. Moving on to legislative discussion issues. Item number 1. Alejandro.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good morning. Happy New Year.
Hi. Happy New Year.
That wasn't very enthusiastic.
Happy New Year. Yes.
So I'll start off with mentioning the Arizona's 24th Governor Katie Hobbs took office Monday, January the 2nd. Although the day is a state holiday, the Arizona Constitution requires the officials' terms must start on the first Monday of January. Taking the oath of office along with Governor Hobbs were Adrian Fontes as Secretary of State, Chris Mays as Attorney General, Kimberly Yee as Treasurer, Tom Horn as State Superintendent of Public Instruction, and Paul March as State Mine Inspector. So this some of the dates, key dates of upcoming events for the CSA and the state legislature that I wanted to share with the board. On Thursday, January the 5th, Governor Hobbs will be inaugurated publicly along with other statewide elected officials. On Monday, January the 9th, it's the opening day for the 56th legislature. On the 13th, the first CSA CSA Policy Committee will take place. And that afternoon, the governor's office will be releasing the executive budget proposal or recommendation to the legislature. On the 18th, there will be a CSA legislative reception in Phoenix. And then on Thursday, the 19th, the CSA Board of Directors meeting will convene and will host the governor in that meeting.
Question.
Can
On
you send
Monday.
that
Oh,
to us?
sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Maybe the question should direct it to someone like has experience on this matter. Lynn, what time do they actually convene? 1:30? The legislature, do they start
Yeah.
any earlier than that?
No, sometimes they start at 1, but you want to get there,
By 1.
you want to get there before that. You want to get there at 12:30 if you're going to get yeah.
Okay, so
Get in there.
basically it begins afternoon.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be there for that session, you should be there before.
The state of the state, Mr. Chairman, Supervisor Reyes, the state of the state starts, it's at 1:30.
Yeah, that means that you're gonna, they start at 1 and then she's gonna come in at 1:30. But to get seated up there, or even to get there and be in one of the rooms to watch it, like the caucus rooms, you're gonna have to get there early. Yeah, and the seating is tight, yes. And I don't know how we're going to get seats unless we're invited by one of our legislators, because each legislator gets a certain number of seats.
Mr. Chairman, I will be joining Rep. Dunn.
Yeah, I got invited by Mr. Brian Fernandez.
Good.
He didn't send me the time, so,
Be there early, be there at
You want to
night.
get there at 12:30.
I'm not the chairman. I don't have to be there at that.
And if
Sounds like Cheech
the
and Chong
best place to park is to get over by CSA and then walk over.
Yep.
Park at CSA and walk over would be the best place to park, and get there by 12:30 and
Are you going, Lynn?
yes,
Okay.
I am.
You,
and
But look, if more than 3 of us are going to go, we better let Desiree know that she needs to post it.
Isn't that one of those?
I'm going, so.
I'm going. Yes, because there's
there's
3 of us.
3 of you.
4, 3 of us are going for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Mhm.
All right.
Moving on the federal side, the 18th U.S. Congress convened on January the 3rd at noon for the first time. The House kicked off the session by voting on its next speaker. Unfortunately, after 3 rounds of votes, the U.S. House of Representatives has not been able to elect a new speaker and adjourned until today at noon. The last time the speaker was not elected on the first ballot was 1923. After a speaker is elected, members of the House will begin taking their oath of office to be sworn in for the 118th Congress. That, however, cannot occur until a speaker is sworn in, which means it could be days. It could possibly be days until members take their oaths. On the other side of the Capitol, Vice President Harris administered the oath of office to new and re-elected senators. After the senators were sworn in, Vice President Harris sworn in Patty Murray as President pro tempore of the Senate on Tuesday, making the first time in U.S. history that a woman will hold that position. The Senate was only scheduled to be in session on Tuesday of this week and will reconvene on January the 23rd. Now, in some international border affairs, the state of Arizona has begun the removal of the shipping containers, as you well know now. U.S. Border Patrol's Yuma Sector Chief Chris Clem retired after more than 27 years of service. On January 9th and the 10th, the leaders of Canada, Mexico, and the United States will convene in Mexico City for the North American Leaders Summit. And lastly, the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority approved a resolution directing the board chairman and staff to begin discussions with IDE Technologies, an Israeli company aiming to build a desalination plant on the Sea of Cortez and pipe the clean water into Arizona and other Mexican cities.
Mr. Chairman,
What?
Yes.
IDE has over, and serving as the vice chair for WIFA, IDE has over 500 desalination plants throughout the world. And is the foremost authority on desal and moving it over long distances.
Do they work like the one we have here?
Let's not go there.
They actually are online 24/7.
Okay.
And when built out, ultimately would deliver 1 million acre feet of water to Arizona.
Now, when is this supposed to happen?
Well, we passed a resolution to enter into negotiations for a formalized conversation. Doesn't require the state of Arizona to pay for the infrastructure. It would be paid by the end users. So that would give us the ability to look at other projects.
Bill is getting a little uncomfortable. We get into a lot of details. I can see you just about reaching for the cutoff button. Bill, we're just trying to lengthen the meeting so it wouldn't be so obvious that my meetings lasted a lot longer. We're just trying to lengthen the
Mr.
meeting.
Chairman, I will conclude.
We're
Thank
talking
you.
a lot.
Lots of good things happening.
Yeah.
No, I just want to add that Cabo San Lucas every hotel that's at Cabo San Lucas has desal. That's the only way you can build a hotel or any kind of project down in Cabo San Lucas is if you provide your own desal. And
Can we
if
go check
that's
it out? Can we go on a fact-finding tour?
anyway,
We're discussing
so
legislative issues here.
that to me that seems like that would be a
Mr.
very
Chairman, I think Bill's given up.
okay.
Bill's just sort of.
So thank you, Alejandro. I'd like that information if you would send it to me.
The one that covers, I'm interested in fact-finding trip.
Go ahead, Alejandro.
That's my presentation, Mr. Chairman.
I think he's smart enough to realize that this isn't going where I thought it was going to go.
Thank you, Alejandro.
Thank you.
Moving on to current events, calendar of current events. Lynn?
I'm gonna be first. Huh? Okay.
Gentlemen.
I've been first for a long time. Okay. During the holidays, Gail made up Christmas bags, and I walked with her the band trailer park, and she handed out Christmas bags, and we knocked on doors and talked to a lot of people, and it was very sad. Being poor shouldn't mean that you have to live like some of these people are living because of the lack of management at Band Trailer Park. That's all I have to say. And then last night I went to the BNC Colonia meeting and met the pastor of the Valley Baptist Church. Very nice gentleman, and several other new people that were there. And then I'm going to the inauguration and swearing in of Katie Hobbs as our new governor, and I will be judging the science fair at Gowan Science Academy coming up. So, yes, those are some of the things. That's just a few.
Mr. Chairman, participated in a WIFA meeting, also participated in an Arizona-Mexico Commission meeting. Had 3 different conversations over the phone with Senator Kelly regarding some of the challenges with the removal of the Connex boxes. Also had 2 conversations with Congressman Biggs regarding the same. And 3 different meetings with constituents, 1 meeting with the governor regarding the broadband network, and also several different conversations and meetings around the fairgrounds, the relocation. And we have a formal meeting today. And I'm sure there were others, but I will forward.
Supervisors?
Just several different meetings with constituents around the area over issues that are ongoing. Several different programs as far as the schools and Christmas programs and stuff and those things. And that's about it.
May I make a comment? You did some excellent programs.
The school did, or?
No, Darren did at, as his alter ego. I just want you to know that you did excellent job. So, thank you.
I was trying to figure out a way to make this last at 11, but too long. I figured out what, happens in Vegas should remain in Vegas.
I'm
So
sorry.
let's just say that, most everyone wasn't doing much over the holidays. I mean, a lot of the stuff that normally happens just doesn't happen the last week. And so it is a nice thing because people, I think, need a break. So my report is going to be take a break and move on.
I'll take a break. No. I just want to say, kind of echo what you said, Supervisor Pancrasi, about the BNC Colonia. I represented that area for a while, for some years, and I mean, Tony has, Leonor, former Supervisor Leonor Stewart, and I think we all seen, that area, but it's true. It doesn't, because you're poor, it doesn't mean that they can have other things that throughout the county or cities have, a nice park, maybe a pathway or something that
Garbage pickup.
revives
Hello.
that area and makes, because honestly, those changes will inspire some residents from that area that say, well, I'm gonna keep my area clean, I'm gonna try to do more, and I think that's why when I say there's money that comes into the county, it's not that I'm trying not to give it to any NGO or other organizations. I'm trying to make things better for certain areas. That's always been my
I'd
my
love to
thing.
see a
So-
lighting district on
So
Fish
just
Street. That's my goal.
so we can keep in mind, so.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I
Okay, go
just
ahead.
wanted to speak to that as well, and I've mentioned it before, but I spent the first 11 years of my life living in space number 5 of Van Mobile Park, so I'm glad to see it getting some attention.
And I'd like to mention the fact that things have happened over time. I mean, this is the cleanup efforts are the results of having improved certain things that weren't there before. We spent I don't remember how many millions of dollars, between 18 and $20 million, putting in the water and the sewer so the city of Yuma could connect to it. So there's been an effort from a long time ago to try to make improvements there. And I think that the most important ones are the ones that are happening now. But the quality of life there, for people who can take advantage of those, the water and the sewer from the city are there. It's just a matter of making sure that the ones that just don't have the tools to move up, actually receive some of those services in a way that makes for some sort of quality of life. But the effort's been an ongoing effort
Yeah.
for the
Yes,
last
it has.
25 years. I'd like to acknowledge Lenore Stewart really took a lot of it.
Lenore Stewart did an amazing job down there.
Did an
Yes, she
amazing
did.
job, and she made sure that when that money came around, we used it there. It was one of those things that I think we have to acknowledge that when there's money around, we need to put it in the right places and what it's designed for. All right.
Mr. Chairman.
And our hero, Gail.
Yes,
Keeping
definitely.
the spotlight and the focus on that.
That's true. Thank you, Gail.
If I could just say one thing,
Let us stand up and say it.
I'm always forgetting my up and downs. We really have seen, like you said, major, like the sewer project was a major thing. We did a lot of cleanups during that time, and there was momentum going on. We've got new housing now.
Because we're just discussing or talking about current events, so we don't want to get into.
But yeah, but what I wanted to say is,
busy until 11 o'clock.
Okay, yeah. The major downfall is our slumlords. It's not the people. The people are the victims of the slumlords, and so that's the part that I hope that
Thank you,
we're gonna
Gail.
look for.
We're gonna get
We'll
them.
continue.
Yep.
to-
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of quick notes, kind of a quiet couple of weeks. It's always my favorite week to work is the week between Christmas and New Year's because you can get a lot done. But I did take some PTO. Attended the Yuma County Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors meeting, had a good meeting with Chairman Porches, had the opportunity to work with Vice Chairman Lyons, Governor Ducey's office staff, and Paul Brierly of the Yuma Center for Excellence in Desert Agriculture on that broadband initiative. So thank you, Vice Chairman Lyons, for your efforts there. That's a big deal for sure. And I'll be attending the City of Yuma swearing-in ceremony this Friday at 5:30. And that's it. Thank you.
Let's not talk about San Luis. Neighbors can hear you.
When is that ceremony? Oh, that's
Over.
all right.
Oh, I'd like to announce publicly that the city of San Luis is back to 8 to 5.
Oh,
So
okay.
people can visit them on Fridays now.
All right, I'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting.